We just heard from Republican candidate for governor Ted Gatsas, who is challenging our next guest in the Republican primary for governor. Pleased now to be joined by Executive Counselor Chris Sununu. Good to see you.
Thank you, Josh.
Yeah, so this has been an interesting week. Weren't too pleased with the new ad put out by the Gatsas campaign, saying you're in favor of Common Core, a number of other things, Planned Parenthood. How do you defend it?
I laugh that stuff off. Look, first of all, it's unfortunate when politics gets ugly like that, but when it comes to the issues he's talking about, we need to scrap Common Core. 100% no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I would never support taxpayer funding of abortions. I would never support increasing any tax in this state, whether it's a gas tax, income tax, sales tax. So they're completely baseless. There's nothing to them. It's desperate, and frankly, it's just dishonest.
You say you would never support taxpayer funding for abortion. You voted in favor of funding Planned Parenthood. They perform abortion.
They do, but please understand, the funding that we approve for Planned Parenthood is strictly for women's health care, low-income women who don't have insurance. Sure, it was a tough vote. We knew there were some people that are very passionate on the other side, but at the end of the day, when it comes for the thousands of women and men and families, they all partake in those funds in my district. And the fact that Planned Parenthood was the only healthcare provider to step up, we called others, we tried to get others to bid on the contract, they wouldn't bid. So if that was my only option, they provide basic health care services, checkups, cancer screenings, things of that nature. That's important stuff. And I'm not going to put, political expediency just to say no to that ahead of what is important for my constituents. My constituents come first every single time I take a vote on the Executive Council. It's what I've done there. It's exactly what I'm going to do as governor.
A lot of people will point to the Planned Parenthood argument that you're making and say, that's just a shell game. The dollars might be targeted here, but eventually...
It's not. No, it's not a shell game. It isn't. I mean, they provide these health care services. They've been doing it for years. This contract's 40 years old, by the way. Understand that every Republican governor before me has signed this contract multiple times. Nothing's changed. It isn't more of a political hot topic right now, but when those conservative governors, Governor Merrill, Governor Gregg, Governor Benson, even that conservative Governor Sununu, they all signed the exact same contract for the exact same services with Planned Parenthood because they knew it's about the constituents, it's about these health care services, basic health services for low-income women and families that really don't have other options right now.
One more quick one on this, just so people are clear with what your answer is. This is a litmus test for a lot of conservative voters, though. Sure. And you didn't vote for Planned Parenthood last time, pointing to the investigation involving selling the...
Yeah, so I had voted for it a couple times, and then when those videos came out, there were investigations about those videos. I think there were 10 of them across the country. And so any group under investigation like that, we said, I don't care whether you're a snowplow driver or a healthcare provider, you got to take a pause and say, well, let's find out what's going on here. Every one of those investigations over those videos, I mean, I found the videos disgusting. Let's be honest. We all saw them. They were horrible. But from a legal standpoint, they've all been thrown out. I'm not a lawyer and I can't say why, but they have all been thrown out. There's no legal standing for saying no to this contract, and at the end of the day, we need to get these kind of services to the women and families that are relying on them, especially in my district.
Another issue that came out this week, which you called borderline racist in the scandal list, was the heat that you were taking for an investor at Waterville Valley that has been investigated apparently for possibly belonging to an organization that funnels money to terrorism. Never been charged, so I'm not going to point to that. But you've said a number of times this is a local, this is all local investment. This guy's not local, and he is an investor.
Well, so again, this is the sleazy underbelly of politics. That's what it is. And again, it's unfortunate. This is a great man, a good American that was falsely, slanderously accused of things years and years ago that were 100% disproven, without a shadow of a doubt. And he has investment companies, he's a friend, he's part of our family, he's a season pass holder at Waterville Valley. This is a locally run and controlled company. 100% of all the controlling shares of the company are owned and run by the Sununu family. All the 8 of the 11 investors we have own second homes there. They're all season pass holders, they're all friends, they're all family, they're all part of our community. Not many people live full-time in Waterville Valley. It's a resort. Right. That's just the way it works. So frankly, you'd be hard-pressed to find a more local company than mine. So the fact that they're trying to dig this stuff up and nip at the edges, it's desperation. It really is. I want to talk about issues. I want to talk about what we're going to do to get this state moving forward. I want to talk about education and over-regulation in our businesses, making sure we individuals have the flexibility and the freedom to do what they can do in their lives. Customer service. This state has lost its sense of customer service. Understanding.
What do you
mean? We have all these programs in the state, but we make them so hard to access. Whether it's a grant or Medicaid or whatever it might be. Half the time you need a lawyer to process the paperwork, right? We need to get government out of people's way. Because what happens is, whether you're in a business, you're hiring lawyers to figure out, what the process is. Whether you want to apply for a grant. So many of these small providers. Do you know why we didn't get more providers voting on the Planned Parenthood? because it's so complex to bid on that contract. We've made the process so complex. A lot of the smaller healthcare providers don't have those resources. That's a great example of where the system is failing the people. I'm about customer service. I'm an engineer. I have my business at Waterville Valley. I understand that no matter what you're doing, it's about people. When we talk about schools, it's about parents, it's about kids, it's about teachers. That's what it's about. What are the outcomes we're getting, and how can we simplify the process to get the best solutions for the people for the state of New Hampshire? That's what I'm going to bring to the corner office.
And top issue, according to voters, is the opioid crisis, the crisis of addiction here in New Hampshire. Again, pointing to Mayor Gatsas, kind of the contention started earlier when you said, you know what, there hasn't been leadership at the state or local level. One, what does that mean? And two, what would you do differently?
Well, at the state level, there's no doubt Governor Hassan has been an absolute failure on this opioid crisis. I was calling for her drug czars. I was fighting against her drug czar nomination, I should say, back in 2014. I called for his resignation shortly thereafter. I think the current drug czar is actually James Vara. He's doing a pretty good job. On his first day on the job, I toured the Farnham Center with him, and I insisted he come out and get on the front lines. That was always my biggest criticism. But the governor's been a failure, and we could go all day about where she's dropped the ball. But there has been a lack of local leadership. I shouldn't say no local leadership. That isn't accurate. But there has been a lack of local leadership, to be sure. You know, to be critical of Mayor Gatsas, the fact that this opioid crisis has been growing year after year after year. 100, 150 lives lost, 200 lives lost, 250, 300, 400. Now we're looking at almost 500 lives lost this year. And last year in Mayor Gatsas' State of the City speech, he doesn't even mention it. Doesn't even talk about it as a key issue. Since the day I got on the Executive Council, we've been improving contracts to get money out for substance abuse and what we call BDAS, one of the divisions in government. I was fighting in 2014 the governor on her choice for the drug czar, which turned out to be a disaster. I've been on top of this issue. Just last year, ground zero for the heroin crisis right here in Manchester. The mayor doesn't even talk about it. That's not leadership. You need to stand up and address these issues. You can't just sit back and wait till it's politically convenient. I think we're all tired of that type of politics. I'm going to bring something new, something different, optimistic, energetic. I don't care who has the best idea. I don't always have the best idea, but I'm really good at bringing the people to the table that do have the best ideas. Republican, Democrat, Independent, it doesn't matter. Get those best ideas on the table and have someone in the corner office, a governor, that has the determination and the will to get things done.
Ideas, anything specific that you would do differently on this particular topic quickly?
Look, my program is very aggressive with prevention in schools. Our DARE program is underfunded. I don't like the way it's done. Again, I talk about it because my kids, I have a 5th grader and a 6th grader. I'm a parent, and they're going to be offered drugs and pills in the next few years, and that's a hard thing for as a parent to think about, but it's true, and we better start talking aggressively about it. My program also looks at aggressive prevention, not just in schools, but in the workforce. Let's make sure that employers have the tools and resources, so when an employee comes to them with a problem, they don't just fire them and say, well, I can't have you, I'm going to send you back out to the wolves. You know, what are the tools and resources that employers or families can have so they know what's available to them? Look, when I said that we had a lack of local leadership, I truly meant it. But what I'm really talking about is we all need to take accountability. Nobody can say that they've done enough on this problem. Nobody can say that we're winning this war. We all have to take accountability, from elected leaders to family members to employers to schools. Let's have a process where we're talking about it aggressively, we're putting those best ideas on the table, and we're driving forward with solutions. It's not going to turn overnight. It's not, unfortunately. But you need to start somewhere. I'm going to bring that kind of leadership to the governor's office.
We're running out of time, but I want to get you on record. Medicaid expansion, it's set to expire. It would be under your watch as governor.
I would have loved to see the work requirement put into there. I have some issues with it. I would never approve a Medicaid expansion program that puts any direct tax burden on the state of New Hampshire. As the unfunded part of this grows and grows, that's going to be a bigger concern. And so if we have to revamp the system, maybe it's something we need to look at.
But you're not saying right now that, oh, I got to get rid of the whole thing and we're going to...
No, I would never cut 45,000 people directly off the rolls. I wanted to see a program that kind of let them get back onto private plans, but you didn't let more folks in under those very high eligibility requirements. We really run this two-tiered system. It's very complex.
Less than a minute to go. Why are you the guy come primary day?
There's no other candidate in this race that has my background and experience. You want to talk about education? I'm a parent. I got kids in schools. I'm in their classrooms. I understand Common Core and the disasters that it has brought to our system, which is why I say I want to scrap it. I don't talk about it because it's a talking point on a piece of paper. I run a private business with 800 employees. So you want to talk about business taxes or overregulation, whatever it might be, our incredibly high healthcare costs. I live and breathe those issues every single day, like so many others out there. Let's have a governor that's a stakeholder in these issues, that lives and breathes it, that understands how policy is really impacting people's lives. That's how we're going to get the best solutions for the people in New Hampshire.
Well, best of luck to you
Thank you,
moving
Joe.
forward. Best of luck on Election Day.
Hey, September 13th, let's all get out there and vote.
All right, good stuff. Thanks very much.